My name is Jorge Thielen Armand. I'm the director of Soledad, and you're watching Heart Fire Film. La Soledad is the true story of a young father who lives in an abandoned house in Caracas, Venezuela, that discovers that the owners of the house are going to demolish the house. So he tries to find a solution to save his family, but the system in Venezuela is broken with the economic crisis. So he connects with the spirits that inhabit the house and begins a search for a treasure of gold coins in the house. Soledad is my first feature, and before that I did a documentary called Flor de la Mar, Flower of the Sea. It's a short doc, 25 minutes, and La Soledad has a very important documentary component because all the characters of the film are real people and they're non-actors interpreting versions of themselves. And so it was a natural transition into fiction to keep one foot in documentary and one foot in narrative. I wanted to use real people because I felt it was the most honest way to talk about the reality of Venezuela. Also, I love the way non-actors express themselves, and yeah, it's a very personal story. So even my father's in the film, and I know I have a relationship with the people in the house. I've known Jose, the main character, since I was a kid, and yeah, it was a kind of an archaeological process to return to that house and to find what my family had left there, and to experience the house through them and through our memories in the house together. In fact, the voiceover at the beginning is my voice, and that's how the house was before. Like I was saying, it was an archaeological process because I was finding these albums that we were putting in the film. This archival footage was something that we discovered throughout the production process, and that's why I decided to make the film, is because I wanted to return to that house and to explore those memories. And also the house is a metaphor for what's happening in Venezuela right now, and I felt a need to express my loss of having left the country when I was a teenager, and I tried to permeate the film with that feeling of loss that I have from my lost identity and from having my family separated, after the death of my great-grandmother, because we used to gather there every weekend. The main character, Jose, he's the grandson of the lady that used to take care of my great-grandparents. I wanted to use a documentary aesthetic, to enhance the naturalism of the film and the naturalism of the actors. Was mostly handheld because I didn't want to give the characters any marks. They were free to move. We did a lot of improvisation. We did maintain a formal aesthetic. We decided that we were going to use handheld in the house, and outside we were going to use static shots. And the slow pacing and the contemplative pacing is also to reflect how the state of the country right now, and sort of the stagnation of what's happening on a political level. When we shot the film last year, the pharmacies were empty, like the one we filmed. Many supermarkets had empty shelves, and sometimes the shelves are just filled with toothpaste. 3 shelves total, just toothpaste, because they're just putting products so that it doesn't look empty. This past couple of days, the government actually took the power from the parliament. So there's a kind of a legislative coup d'etat that just happened. It's very serious, the situation now, and it's worsening by day. When I was just back in December, the amount of people that I saw, like middle-class people, like they're not people that live in the streets, people that were looking through the trash for food. The inflation, it has skyrocketed to insane levels, and the government just keeps raising the minimum wage as a populist measure to get support, because they know that they don't have the popular support anymore. which is why they've been postponing state elections, any kind of the referendum. They shut it down by saying that there were some irregularities in the signature collection to call for the referendum. I mean, it's just out of control. It's very sad, and I think it's very important to be making films like this. And my film is the first film to deal with what's happening in Venezuela, and I hope that other filmmakers can talk about what's happening, and other artists as well. Obviously, there are people that are helping each other, but there's also a very massive emigration movement. A lot of people are leaving the country. The opposition, in terms of from a political standpoint, the opposition is not taking. A lot of people are criticizing the opposition, criticizing the government. So there's not really. Some people seem like they're not taking sides. They're just against what's happening, and I think that's also why a lot of people are leaving, because they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, we shot the film in February of last year, and almost half the crew of 25 people have left the country, and this is in 1 year. Most of my friends have left. People that were living in La Soledad left to Colombia because that's where they're from. I'm really afraid of the day that I'll return to my country and my older family members will have passed away, and maybe there will be no one there to visit. I hope not. You know, the dream is to return and rebuild it, but right now making films about it is a way to return, and it's a way to contribute. People can follow the film on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's at La Soledad Film, and they can also follow me on social media as well, at Tarmand_. The film La Soledad is going to be next at Sarasota Film Festival. It's going to be at Chicago Latino Film Festival and Nashville Film Festival. It's going to be at Bafisi in Buenos Aires. It's going to be at the Frames of Representation Film Festival in London at the Institute of Contemporary Arts, and other festivals that will be announced very soon.